So we're checking out some raspberries right now. We're doing a pretty much wild forage on them, and I wanted to give a few ideas of how that could go about. Um, Assuming it is wild and or you don't have to answer to, you know, anybody as far as trespassing or environmental issues, um, digging up things, etc. Raspberries, like blackberries, are invasive and take over huge embankments and areas. And so if you have a pair of gloves, you want a good pair of leather gloves and a digging tool, and these come in really good handy. Some clippers, and here's some specimens that I foraged today. And the point is to the property issue is that whether or not you can dig up plants versus taking a cutting. And digging up a whole plant is very beneficial, because obviously you have the roots and it's going to grow better. And knowing its cycle right now is spring, and even though other parts of this are still flowering, it's ready to it's at its best growing cycle, and so it's got a lot of energy to put out to grow better. And so it's a good time to try and transplant or regrow. And you can see the roots. And another point that I want to make is that raspberries are a vine like blackberries, and they grow under the ground, and they will put off what are called runners from the main bush. And these will grow 10, 20, 50 feet under the ground. I mean along the ground, on the ground, and they'll put off roots that are easily picked up if you can just grab this whole runner off the ground. The roots come off of the sides, and fresh, see, this is a fresh plant right here, and so the bottom right here has roots, and you can take a whole piece like this with roots all along it and cut it up into smaller pieces instead of taking a cutting like just the top. That was the point I'm trying to make. And these are fresh blackberry buds right here. I mean raspberry buds right here, and they're just starting to flower. And so you can see beginning flower right there to a slightly opening flower right here. And it's nighttime, so they're closed up a little bit, but they'll open back up, and they're all flowering right now. So raspberries, a lot of powerful medicinal properties, and it's used for teas and different purposes. For a lot of women, has a lot of uses for, specifically for women's bodies. And so I just wanted to show you that instead of taking cuttings from something, that if you have an abundance, that you can just take the whole root cutting, and that's a lot more useful than trying to regrow out a sprout, and or make sure not to take something when it's actually flowering. So another thing I wanted to check out is these huge growths on this. So it's just mud, but is what it looks like. But these are some type of growth, and I'm going to try and break it down as much as possible and check it out. But I don't know what these are. I wonder if it's possible if these are truffles. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm not a professional blackberry farmer, and or a raspberry farmer, and it's totally possible that raspberries put off a huge insane growth. Anybody? These are growths. These are part of the blackberry root. I've never seen this before. This is a raspberry. Okay, these are raspberries or not. If anybody wants to correct any parts of this video for me, that'd be great. I'm just a natural forester, naturalist in the forest, foraging. So if that's good food, let me know. By the way, on the same note, we're checking out astragalus. Loco weed is a legume, and all legumes are, or a lot of them, are nitrogen fixing, and so growths on a plant in itself. And you can see that this is also almost mannequin. This is a mannequin. That's a mannequin root there. That's a powerful spiritual talisman plant root here that I've got. It has humanoid shape. So all legumes are nitrogen fixing, and this is a very small plant right now. And if you see my other videos on burr clover, you'll see that this has nitrogen fixing little balls. I can't show it right now. This isn't good enough. I don't have good enough detail on this, but basically these roots have nitrogen balls on them, which are little growths on the roots that turn the soil into nitrogen, and it's really beneficial for the soil. And this is a purple potted legume vine. It's a creeping vine, and it vines all over everything. It's great. So anyway, back to this. If anybody is familiar with what this could be on this raspberry, or if anybody can identify this plant and tell me that it is not a raspberry, and then that would be cool. These things are part of the root. I don't know what it is, and it's some kind of growth. So there's some kind of growth.